Fit like YouTube, welcome back to another episode. Happy New Year to you all. So here's one of the things I picked up over the Christmas period. A flipper Max Edge. So I'm going to get this onto the tank. I've got some really hard stubborn algae that I just cannot get with the Tansy, and I'm having to use a Seachem scraper, which is a right pain in the neck, as you can imagine. So I'm going to give this bad boy a try. It's rated for 19mm glass. And the glass I've got on my aquarium is 15mm, so this should be a really strong connection. So one thing I noticed straight off the bat is that it is super strong and it's really gripping the tank really well and making short work of this algae. In fact, it's taken it off in pretty much one swipe. That'll be thanks to the double blades, which is really cool. So this is making short work of this. I wish my Tansy did the same, but however, it just was never as good. The algae was just so stubborn, I was having to use that scraper. But yep, this is going to be my new favourite toy and make one of those jobs a tedious job at that. Very simple. So there we go, my tank's all clean. Now one thing to note is I actually bought two of these. So one I'm using myself, the other one I'm going to give that away when we hit 5,000 subscribers. So the sooner we hit 5,000, the sooner I'll be doing a prize draw for this Flipper Max Edge. Okay, so just installing this new Red Sea ReefWave 45. Now in hindsight maybe the 25 would have been better, but I went for the 45. I didn't want to put the other MP40 on this side just because this rockscape's so high here. It would mean that nothing would be able to be, no corals would be able to put on the top. Whereas with this gyre type flow pump, it puts a sheet of water, so allowing you to get stuff on the top of there without it getting blasted. And I think that's just going to help create a lot more flow in here. I mean, the flow is pretty kicking as it is, but we're having the Achilles tang. I really want this to be absolutely flow going crazy, and plus it's going to be SPS, so I'm sure they're going to love the flow as well. So I've just got to go and feed the end of the cable and the controller. So I've got the controller box here, and I've just got to go and plug in the adapter and then feed the wires along the back. Okay, got it installed. The controller is in here, but I've got it operating on the app. So I've just selected like a random flow, 80% maximum, and it's shooting a nice sheet of water right across the top, which is perfect because it's kind of going above this MP40 and it's above the rock, so it's working out really nice. Flow is absolutely kicking, especially when the MP40s are going through the ramp up stage. It's certainly kicking up some detritus anyway. Okay, so decided to do a little re-aquascaping last night. Was really happy with this island. However, I just wanted to have like an extra bit for corals down the bottom there. So that's worked out fine. But this area here was just a heap of rocks that were all really tightly compacted. So I wanted to open that whole area up, so get more caves, plenty of flow through there. That's worked out really well, and in doing so, this was like a donut before, opening up this channel, so I'm absolutely loving this now, because your eyes are drawn in to these caves towards the back of the tank, which is really cool. And this whole area, the fish swim in and out of these rocks. So don't know how good that shows, but yeah, so really pleased with that. That's turned out fantastic. And then the other thing I wanted, seen a picture of an artificial reef that was made with all these artificial corals, and they had like rocks going all the way along the top, and I thought it looked really cool. Now, I mean, obviously kind of limited to what kind of corals you could get to grow up there, but I just really like visually how it just frames the tank. I really like it, and it just helps disguise that power head a little bit. But I'm sure I can get like maybe some zoanthids or green star polyps or something. If you got any suggestions what you think would grow well up there, just put it in the comments below. So the ReefWave 45 is doing fantastic. I really cannot wait to get this UV sterilizer pump out of here. It's kind of an eyesore, so I'll be glad when I get that out of the way. But yeah, everything is just absolutely kicking and rocking. So next year my plan is just to focus on getting corals, getting this stuffed with corals, and getting it looking like a proper SPS reef tank. One thing I've noticed is, for me personally, to watch a fish swim round the island is alright, and that's what basically, if you've got that column with the flat bit, the swim around it, that's fair enough. But for me personally, I'm getting way more enjoyment watching the fish going in and out the rocks, swimming in and through caves and under overhangs and popping up different holes. It's just fantastic. I mean, there's the yellow tang lancelot, perfect example, swimming in and out all these nooks and crannies. It's just brilliant. Okay, what a mess I'm making. So, managed to get the UV off of here, disconnected all the plumbing. However, just a way to put a new bulb into here, and then I'm gonna have to try and screw it onto the wall and then get it all plumbed together. I'm trying to plumb it using soft plumbing, and I think instead of using the Vortex S2 or S1 I think it is, thinking I'm going to use the Eheim 3000 compact, slightly smaller pump, and I can use a lot thinner tubing which puts less flow through the UVs. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm just away to install a new quartz sleeve and UV bulb into here, so let's go do that now. Okay, so I've got the UVs connected. However, I have just discovered that one of them isn't working. It's brand new quartz sleeve, brand new bulb, and it's the 80-watt one, and I have a sneaky feeling when I first got it, it didn't work. I got sent a replacement ballast. However, I was using this connections, so it was impossible to tell if it was actually working or not, whereas with these fittings that come with it, you can actually clearly see if the UV is on. So the whole time I was running this 80-watt, thinking that I was having 80 watts of UV sterilisation, turns out it looks as if I didn't have any at all. So looks like I'm going to have to get another ballast to get that one working. bit, everything's plumbed in, and it's the bottom one is 35 watt or 36 watt, is working fine. I'm definitely going to have to build some type of canopy or something to hide all that, because it's the most attractive looking thing in the world. So that'll be on the to-do list as well. At least now that's a job I was needing done, because when the UV was over in that corner there was just absolutely no way of getting in to maintain it or check it, hence why it went over a year where I'm thinking I've got UV sterilisation happening and I've actually got nothing. So at least now where it is, easy to change the bulbs and to check that everything's operating the way it should be. One thing we've noticed is a lot of condensations forming in the windows because it's winter time, and the evaporation from this tank. So what I've done is I've just built a makeshift lid just now. So I've got this polycarbonate stuff on here. Just get it from B&Q, cut it to size, and this is going to reduce the condensation, the evaporation from the tank. Also got rid of the glass on the refugium and added the same onto here, so it's really lightweight, easy to remove. And feeding the fish is a dawdle. Just left a wee gap here that I can pick it up and move it about. Now the downside is obviously it reduces the light into the aquarium slightly. So to help compensate for this, what I've done is I've removed the light diffusers from the radions. So hopefully it all balances out. The other thing I've noticed is I've got my lights facing this way, but I've got another two to put on here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate these so that the light, the lengthways is going up and down. I think that will help give a better spread in the aquarium as well, because the front seems to be a little bit more shaded compared to the rest of it. So get all these lights and rotate them so we're getting a better spread along the front. That's what I've done to compensate for the winter and the amount of evaporation and the cold. The windows up in the bedroom and that were all getting full of condensation, so we don't want any green mould. That's a no-no. So this is on for the time being. If it works, great. If I notice any issues, then I think what I'll do is I'll maybe see about getting some glass cut and use glass instead. But I think this will be fine. And then obviously in the summer I can just put the net one back on. That's not a problem. The refugium, it's looking good. The caliper's really taken off now. It's still not at the numbers yet where it's actually going to be having a noticeable effect on my nutrient level. But once we get that thing full of algae, I start removing it, I'm hopeful that that's going to reduce my nitrates. I'm thinking about getting some Cheeto as well. I did order some, but by the time it arrived it was just a bag of mush basically, so it's pretty much a waste of time. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Till the next one, stay liquid. Happy New Year. Bye bye.